and welcome to the 1267th edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar, and that would be me. Good evening, traders. These videos come to you almost nightly. In these videos, I teach you the art of technical analysis, and it's for the analysis for the market going forward tomorrow. So please pay attention to these videos. Make sure you watch them before the opening. And remember that futures trading can and is extremely risky. Can be and is extremely risky. Can certainly cause substantial financial loss. Always trade with a stop. A stop is your best friend. There are some instances where a stop doesn't work, but most cases the stop works just fine. Put your stop in before you trade and have a little bit of, I don't know what to call it, maybe your nerves will come down just a little. I know with this insane volatility lately, no one's going to have a calm day, but you got to try to calm down somehow. You got to use wide stops in the S&P and NASDAQ. And just remember, this game is not for children. All right, traders, so check this out. For trading on Thursday, which is January 15th, we've got another red OMNI in emini S&P and the NASDAQ. And bravo for the analysis I've given you for the last few days, because boy, oh boy, has it come down, right? The charts told me to tell you it was going to drop, and we have dropped. So, what I want you to do is remember something. We have dropped. Yes, that is absolute. Before the drop, I told you that the likelihood of a drop would be coming, and I explained to you why. So, I'm going to say something now. Do not fall in love with the downside. Yes, it's repricing, but do not fall in love with the downside, and here is why. Now, remember, I've been saying this to you since before the crash or before this down move started. Remember this. Before calling this recovery dead. And what is this? I know it's a horrible illustration. I'm like a child. I'm like a kindergarten kid when it comes to drawing. But at least I don't have stick people here right now, right? Anyway, here's what this is. This represents the stock market as a whole. The stock market has sectors, as we know, represented by different colors, right? The stock market has come down lately. The energy sector used to be somewhere between 23 and 27% of the entire pie. This has been knocked down so greatly since the crude oil has dropped and all of its stocks have dropped that this is likely now 16 to 18% of the stock market. And where do you think that is going to come from? The leftover hole right here, when you take 23 to 27% and cut it in half, something has to fill that part of the pie graph. The other markets or the other stocks fill it and you come down a little bit. Why? Because it was worth 23 to 27%. It dropped so dramatically and so fast, it's now worth less. So is this sector of the market, it caves in a little to fill the hole, but that's all we're seeing here, traders. I do not think the top is in officially. I do not think the recovery is over, and I think you should not fall in love with the downside, but give it a few kisses because we're going to date it for a few more days for sure. All right, so remember this graph, it is not the end of the world yet. If, in fact, the markets start turning into the end of the world, I'll let you know. Omni's been selling it since it started going down. Omni was buying it on the way up. Don't worry about that. We'll catch it. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Remember that gold is absolutely still glittering while this is caving in. Gold's getting a little more expensive. So very, very interesting what's going on there. I've got some great charts I want to show you, but I'm going to make a quick announcement, traders. One of the best things that could have happened has happened. A round of applause. Melissa Francis has contacted me, and check this out. Look at this. Do you remember when I gave this call on the Melissa Francis show live on television? And we were all the way up here in crude. And I said crude would be down to 45 by 2015. And she basically dismissed me off the show after that, thinking I was a kook. And I get it. Listen, when you tell somebody when crude's at almost 100, maybe near or above, that it's going to go down to 40, you know, you might as well say you invented the light bulb or oxygen is your invention. You know what I mean? I get that. But hey, I'm good at what I do, and look what happened, baby. It worked. So, Melissa, thank you so much. I'm going to be on her show once again tomorrow, Thursday at about 2 p.m. Eastern on Fox, the Melissa Francis Show. Melissa, thank you so much for having me back. I'm sure we'll have a great time. Thank you so much. All right, so traders, let me show you some charts, why we've got a red omni, why this graph does not mean the end of the world, and why gold is still glittering. With no further ado, let's go look at some charts. Okay, traders, Dow Jones Transportation Average Daily Bar Chart. This very same chart I put before you in a video a couple of nights ago and said bear flag flying, omni's bearish, look out for the downside. Interestingly enough, I'm getting resistance now from traders out there telling me that the upside is still coming, and I don't know how to read charts. Imagine I've got traders calling for upside and not a crash while I'm calling for the downside. What's wrong with you kooks out there? Anyway, this is what it was. I said this is a bear flag, and bear flags point to the downside. Traders, this is what happened since the night I presented you with that flag. This is what it was. And this is what happened. Oh my goodness, look at that thing drop, huh? Now that's good analysis. Now, we've come down to here. Look back. Bottom. Bottom, is that a double bottom? No, look here. You've got a triple bottom here, and my work tells me no matter what they tell you in books and out there in the learning journals about trading and charts, they are wrong. Triple bottoms get sold, and here's why. 1, 2, 3, you've hit it 3 times already, you get a small bounce and then usually a nosedive after a triple bottom. The bottom gets taken out, there's something called market gravity, and more often than not, a triple bottom will get taken out. Let's see what happens. We play this one day at a time, but that was very nice analysis. Next, traders, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the very same chart I showed you a few days ago. We were here. We came down, and now this looks like it could be a double bottom right here, right? But I put an X there and say, not a chance. You should blow right through that tomorrow. According to the Omni analysis and what's happened so far, we should end up lower tomorrow and get through that possible double bottom in the Dow Jones Industrial Daily. Then you've got the traders. You know what? Something I wanted to show you, and in fact, I did show you when I presented this chart to you a few days ago, and I said, listen, you cannot have a chart that puts in a low, and then a high, then a higher low, great, and a higher high, perfect. But then it comes here and it rallies and does not put in a higher high, and that is not good. So I showed you this chart, I put an X there, and we have dropped down to here so far. And we're not done because this needs to be challenged and this needs to be challenged. And I've got targets here and here if it really starts to push. But I'm not calling for anything insane yet. We'll see if those targets are going to pan out. One day at a time, traders, one day at a time. Next, emini S&P. This is the MACD, Moving Average Convergence Divergence. Basically, it's a little bit longer term indicator. It lets you know if you're going to continue in a direction. And right now, this is pointing down. That's pointing down. There's no hook. There's nothing turning back up. In other words, these aren't going up this way. They're going straight down. The MACD is telling you there's more downside coming. So you've got an indicator, or many indicators, I should say, pointing towards at least one more day lower on Thursday. Then we've got this, traders. A few nights ago, I put this gold chart in front of you, and I said, traders, here's the gold. Here's a bull flag opposite of the bear flag in the transportation average. This one's a bull flag, and it points up. Here is what the gold looked like the night I presented it to you, and this is what happened since. Take a look at that, traders. This is what it was, and this is what happened. I mean, come on. What else do you want out there? Nothing gets better than technical analysis. Gold's still looking good here, and let me show you something else. Silver, bull flag 3 days ago, broke out of the bull flag as well. And then you've got gold, a weekly chart back here. Look at the gold weekly, traders. Hits the red line. I put a little umbrella there because it rains down. Hits the red line, rains down. Hits the red line, rains down. Gets near the red line, rains back down. Hits the red line, rains back down. Near the red line, rains back down. Hits the red line, comes down a little bit and pops above it. Let me say that again. Pops above it. We haven't seen that in how long? So that is interesting, and we need to keep our eyes on gold. And then there is this, traders. Netflix, baby. Look at that bear flag. I mean, talk about nothing flying on this planet lately but flags, bear and bullish. This is a wonderful bear flag, and it has worked so far. Omni was able to get into this trade. We are still short Netflix as I speak. The Omni's holding that position for you Omniacs, looking for more downside on Thursday. Come to livewithoscar.com where I offer commodity and stock recommendations, and I'll show you what we have for tomorrow on top of the Netflix stock. Traders, pull your own charts, do your own homework, never listen to anybody's opinion without checking it against your own analysis first. Traders, so there it is, my reasons why we've got the red Omni still in ES and NASDAQ, why stocks, at least Netflix and a few others I'm looking at, I'll let you know before the opening tomorrow morning which ones we're going to play with. Please remember, this is a repricing of a market that has no choice. It must reprice. If you're getting nervous, if you've got people telling you that the end of the world is coming, come to livewithoscar.com. Come into my chat room. I'll keep you calm. It is free, by the way, the chat room. I will keep you educated, and I'll show you what should come next. I'll teach you where stops belong. I will help you learn this game. Livewithoscar.com in the free chat room. All right, traders, that's about it. I'm getting out of here. I'll see you all tomorrow. Fox Business, Melissa Francis, 2 p.m. OST, EST, sometime between 2 and 2:30. I don't know exactly when. I hope to see you there. You'll certainly see me there. Melissa, thank you very much. I'll see you there. Remember, keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things you can do to help yourselves with that is say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and you know what that is. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Rock and roll. I'll see you at livewithoscar.com. Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided.